Before most people visit Japan, they imagine a country filled with futuristic technology, neon lights, anime culture, and cities that look like scenes from a science fiction movie. But the moment they actually arrive, they realize Japan is something completely different. This is a country where centuries-old traditions exist side by side with some of the most advanced technology in the world. One moment, you're standing in the middle of Tokyo surrounded by giant digital screens and some of the busiest streets on Earth. Minutes later, you can find yourself in a peaceful temple where silence feels almost sacred. But despite all the admiration people have for Japan, there are things tourists do every single day that instantly reveal they don't understand the culture at all. And some of these mistakes are considered far more disrespectful than most visitors realize. In this video, you'll discover the things you should never do in Japan, the cultural rules that surprise tourists, and why life in this country feels completely different from almost anywhere else in the world. One of the biggest cultural shocks for visitors in Japan is realizing how deeply respect influences everyday life. In many countries, speaking loudly in public is completely normal, but in Japan, silence is often seen as a sign of consideration for others. On trains, for example, people rarely talk on the phone, and even conversations are usually kept quiet. Another mistake many tourists make is ignoring small cultural details inside restaurants or traditional places. Something as simple as placing chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice can unintentionally appear disrespectful because of its connection to funeral traditions. Then there's the issue of shoes. In many homes, temples, and traditional spaces, wearing shoes indoors is unacceptable. Tourists who don't know this often create uncomfortable situations, without even understanding what went wrong. These rules may seem small at first, but together they reveal something much deeper about Japanese society, a culture built around harmony, discipline, and respect for others. But Japan becomes even more fascinating when you start noticing the contradictions hidden behind its modern image. Despite being one of the most technologically advanced countries on the planet, many parts of daily life still follow traditions that outsiders rarely expect. Cash is still commonly used in many places, ancient ceremonies are preserved with incredible seriousness, and discipline can be seen everywhere, from how people wait in perfectly organized lines to the way cities remain unbelievably clean even with very few public trash cans. This is one of the things that confuses tourists the most. How can a country with millions of people feel so organized and peaceful at the same time? The answer lies in a mindset that prioritizes collective responsibility over individual convenience. People are taught from a very young age to think about how their actions affect everyone around them. And once you begin to understand that, Japan suddenly starts to make a lot more sense. And that's exactly why so many people around the world dream of visiting Japan at least once in their lives. It's not just the technology, the food, or the famous places that make the country unforgettable. It's the feeling that everything operates according to a completely different rhythm and philosophy. From the calm atmosphere inside ancient temples to the overwhelming energy of Tokyo at night, Japan constantly creates moments that feel impossible to fully explain through a screen. And maybe that's why so many visitors leave the country feeling like they experienced something far deeper than just another trip. Because Japan is not simply a place people visit. For many travelers, it becomes one of the few destinations that completely changes the way they see culture, respect, and everyday life itself.